Yo, to be honest, the heck, I was really trying to record this video yesterday. Couldn't do it. Had a very irritating day. You know, beginning of Scorpio season, I was ready. I was excited, but had so many minor setbacks. I was like, you know what? We just gonna hang it up today. We gonna try it tomorrow. So that's what I did. And I was like, whatever. So we're here today. We're gonna get through these arrows this week, and then I'm gonna post all the content for the gates and the channels, and then I am going to focus on the profiles, and then I think that's pretty much it for the workshop. Will be done for the most part by or before, hopefully by mid-November, before Thanksgiving for sure. So thank y'all for bearing with me and being patient, getting through this stuff. It's not as easy as it make it seem sometimes. Let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb so I can read these notes to y'all. I ain't sleep good last night. Well, I slept good, but I went to bed late and I wake up early, so I'm a little tired today. That's my energy might be a little low, but we're in good spirits. Better day today than yesterday. So let's see. All right, arrows. So in the previous post, I basically did a little bit of an introduction to the arrows and what they mean when they're facing right and left. It doesn't matter what color they are. You'll see colors differentiate in different charts. But in these two charts, the colors are red and black, representing conscious and unconscious. However, you have to make sure in your human design chart that you have the right birth time to be able to what you call it? What was I gonna say? Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Have the right birth time so the arrows would be pointing in the right direction, because if you don't have your accurate birth time, the arrows are not going to be right. That's one thing I can say in the human design chart. If the birth time is not right, the arrows are going to be wrong, as well as like some of the planets, the numbers on the side, the gates. And you may have the right type, but very tricky to do without the right birth time. So just keep that into consideration. If it doesn't really resonate with you, it could be if you don't have the right birth time, that's why. Or it's just conditioning. So let's talk about the top left arrow. So for example, in this chart, this is the top left arrow here, pointing to the left. See? So look at your chart so you can see the top left arrow, and then in this chart, it's pointing to the right. So the top left arrow represents digestion, all right? How we take in, digest the world around us, how we set routines. This can also be the best way to digest food, or how we digest food. So when you have this left facing here in the digestion part, you carry more of a intentional or masculine energy when it comes to taking in information. So it can be really good for you to be proactive in the way that you learn by like going out there, doing the research, finding the knowledge, the information for yourself, acquiring it. Consistency and structure in your daily routines is really good for you. So absorbing the same amount of information daily, or as much as you can daily, is good. But you thrive with a predictable and consistent schedule, and feel freed up to take on the day when you know what to expect ahead of time. So these are the people that are planners. Planning is good for you, planning out your day, planning out your routines, what you're gonna do today, making it consistent or predictable as much as you want to. I have this in mind. Also Virgo, I like to plan out my days. But yeah, so you're also someone who can eat the same things every day or eat at the same times, and that can work better for you. Eating breakfast is ideal if you have this arrow pointing left. Lean into creating schedules and routines for yourself that are relatively the same every day or week. You're also able to take in and absorb lots of information very well. Fasting may not be ideal for you, as well as you need fuel to fuel your body consistently in order to feel high functioning. So this type of person can be one that you have a more strict diet or a more sensitive diet, or you have a certain way that you need to eat, or you do not do good with skipping meals or skipping out on your food, or you get hangry, you know, you need more fuel, or you get bored quickly, you feel like you need stimulation, you need to be learning, ingesting things in order to feel good for the day. All right, so that's if you have left facing arrow. Now, if you have a right facing arrow in the top left, you are more in your feminine energy when it comes to digesting information, absorbing information. So a structured, predictable routine or schedule is not necessary for you, or it may feel too difficult or restrictive. If you struggle with consistency, this could be why. You should change things up on a daily or weekly basis and allow for more fluidity in your schedule so you can approach things with a more go with the flow attitude. So this type of person here, you don't need to be taking on too much during the day. It's kind of like, let's see what I want to do today. Let's see what I have the energy for today. And if you struggle with consistency every day, or making routines or sticking to routines, and you have this right facing arrow, then let it go. Stop trying to do that. It's because you're meant to take a more feminine energy or passive approach to your schedule. And you should get creative with what you eat and let yourself try out a lot of different things. So this type of diet, you don't have to be as restricted. It's good for you to try new things, eat different things, eat at different times, be spontaneous with how you're digesting food. You take in information in a broader, more generalized manner. So take your time with the way you learn and take things in to to allow yourself to fully absorb in it. So these type of people, you can be a bit of a slower learner. Like, it may take you some more time to digest concepts or information or details, because you're like, okay, I get the gist of it. I get the big picture of it. And learning all the details may be just too much or overwhelming to you, or take you more time. So, you know, learn in your own way, in your own pace. And you don't always need to harp on details about things, but looking at the bigger picture for learning or whatever you're trying to digest, take in. You don't need all the details. You don't need all the extra. And it should be just in a very fluid way. It shouldn't have to be like, oh, I have to learn this at this time and in this way and digest this like this and this and this and this. You know, all these routines, all these eating schedules and all this and that may not be good for you. All right, so now we're only doing 2 at a time because these 2 go together and then the right 2 go together. So this one is the bottom left arrow pointing left. Bottom left arrow pointing left. How we prefer to exist in the physical or external spaces, and the consistency in which we approach disciplines or routines in our lives. So it is a little similar, and it can be conflicting if you have arrows pointing in different ways. But let's say you have the left facing arrow. You thrive in a consistent and predictable environment. So again, this is more about what you prefer to have outside, what's going on outside of you, not necessarily inside of you. It could be ideal for you to sleep, eat, work, be in the same places every day, and help you focus better. So if you have a job or routines where you're constantly on the go, you're constantly moving, or you're in different places all the time, it may make you feel burnt out quicker or scattered or unfocused. So if you have a stable place where you can work every day, or like an office space or a consistent library space, wherever, somewhere you can go, you need time to like familiarize yourself with that environment, and it can help you feel more stable. Or before you take on a new environment, getting more familiar with the area can make you feel better, and seeing that every day. So allow yourself to enjoy the predictability of frequenting, I don't even know if that's a word, frequenting the same spots and sticking with what works, since this will likely feel the best to you. And test out having more consistency in your environment and see if it helps you mentally. So it's a little bit different from before, where just having overall consistency in what you do and how you do it. This is more about consistency in where you are, you know, what you're waking up to, what you see, where you're putting yourself every day, and see if that helps you feel better. If whatever you have is not already working for you, again, I should have said this at the beginning, human design is very experimental. So if it doesn't feel right, don't try to force it. If you feel fine doing whatever you're doing, environmental wise, or you're like, oh yeah, I'd like to change it up and see different things and blah, 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 keep doing that, okay? Next one, right facing arrow, bottom left, right facing arrow. So you would enjoy more variety and flexibility with where you spend your time. Being in one place for too long can make you feel restless even. It's good for you to travel around and spend time in different environments, work in different places, switching up on where you hang out or things you do on a daily or weekly basis, like where you put yourself, right? So if you go out to eat at one place one week, maybe you want to switch it up and go somewhere else. You know, you don't have to always go to the same restaurant, see the same things, the same people all the time. Like, branch out, take different routes to work, take different routes home, stuff like that. Changing things around your house to get a different visual aesthetic can help your energy levels as well. So looking at the same things every day. Now, you know, decorate. Change the linens and the curtains and change your bed sheets. Make things look new for you. You can still have discipline in your daily schedules and routines, but don't be too rigid with it, especially if you have undefined ego here. If it looks like this, not colored in. Routines and rigidness and super strict consistency is not good for us. Now, if you have this, you can be a little more strict and more consistent and rigid, but if you don't worry about it. Allow movement and freedom for yourself. And trying out different places and experiences to see what feels good for you, especially if you are experiencing you're not self-themed. So if you're feeling you're not self-themed, projectors, bitterness, reflectors, disappointment, generators, frustration, manifestor, anger, if you're feeling you're not self-themed a lot and you have that right facing arrow, it could be that you're being too rigid with what you're seeing or what you're looking at every day, where you are every day. So being more fluid and just allowing yourself to just flow or try out different places, see different environments can really make you feel better. And that can go for any of these arrows. If you're feeling like you're not self, then you need to try to do things differently. If you're being too rigid, get looser. If you're being too loose, too fluid, try to get a little more structured, write things out, plan some stuff out, write down, set a couple goals for yourself, a couple tasks for the day or the week, right? Try out things. It's an experiment, all right? So that's what it is for these two arrows. We will be back before the week is over, for sure, with the next two, and then we'll be done with the arrows. And that's pretty much all that is to that, right? Not something necessarily mandatory you have to know, need to know all the time. It's just a nice addition to what you do or what you're working on and who you are. So that's what you got, y'all. Have a great day. See y'all later.